Yeah, this is always a tricky one. I think I've been asked it just about enough times now. So.
Really?
No, I always say that life is actually, I know that sounds like a cop-out, but life is like the biggest influence on my music, and I think it is to everyone, even if they don't realise it, because a lot of my best songs I wrote in a really hard time, like when, I say hard time, but when I was down and like depressed. So that comes across in the music, and it makes it really powerful and like has a lot of meaning to it, whereas these days I'm a lot more level-headed and I'm quite happy, so the second album's a little bit more upbeat. So so that's the main thing, but obviously I do have artists ranging from singer-songwriters like Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash, sort of legends like that, and also modern pop rock artists. The Cranberries is actually my favourite band of all time. Damien Rice, Ed Sheeran, who's very recent, and Ben Howard, who's only just released his album, even though they've only just released them, like they've been a massive influence on me. And David Gray is quite a big influence as well. But I've also got quite a classical background. My parents always used to play classical music, so Beethoven, Vivaldi, all that stuff kind of comes into it, because when I play live like this, you just hear me and the guitar. On the album I've added cellos, violins and everything to it. So it's quite an interesting sound, and I think it is just because I've got so many different backgrounds that I like to bring them together, but it works quite well. It's quite an acoustic sound, but with sometimes there's like a whole orchestra on there in the album. And as regards my piano playing, I didn't bring the piano today because just for ease of use, but usually at my gigs I play piano and guitar. And my piano playing is quite largely influenced by Mike Oldfield. I always used to love Tubular Bells, and I think that's why a lot of the stuff I play on the piano is quite repetitive, like a catchy phrase but quite repetitive, where you're sort of just changing the bass notes and keeping the right hand the same, and that puts a good platform for me to sing over. And one other is Einaudi Ludovico, who's a modern classical pianist, an Italian guy, and he's amazing. And he actually wasn't an influence, he was more of a reassurance, because I was sort of playing this style, and I was thinking, but like before you've played a lot of gigs, you don't really know if people are going to like it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if it's okay to play this style. And then it was actually my mum one time said, oh, have a listen to this, and I listened to it, and it was exactly the same style as me. So it wasn't so much, oh, I want to play like that, it made me go, oh, well, he's massive, so it must be okay to play like that. So very sort of wide spectrum of things, really. Anything that's good.
It's certainly good tonight, mate. What's your best gig so far, then? What really stands out for you?
That's quite hard to say, I suppose, because there's different reasons why it would be the best gig. The best one for like sort of, what do you call it? The highest calibre gig I've played is at the Big Chill. Last year, and I was really lucky and really happy that Radio Hereford and Worcester selected me, and they put 5 artists from Hereford and Worcestershire on at the Big Chill on the radio stage, and that was obviously awesome because it's a massive festival. It's 40,000 capacity. It wasn't 40,000 people there at that time. It was about 20,000. It was a bit quiet, massive, and I think that's why he's not putting it on this year. They say it's because of the Olympics, but it's not. It's just because he didn't make enough money, which is a shame, and I hope it comes back, because it is a really good festival. I'd never been to it, and it's just well, it's called the Big Chill, and it was really nice and mellow and relaxed. Apart from, like, I think he possibly chose some of the wrong artists to put on.
Really?
Who was it?
Kanye West.
Kanye. You see, that's
a strange one.
Not really what people go to the Big Chill to listen to.
No, exactly.
And there was quite a lack of acoustic-y stuff like what I play. There wasn't really a tent for that. There was all the trance tents and dance and stuff, which is like that's what you expect. But the stuff like Kanye, I thought was a bit weird, and I think if that's happened with Jessie J and stuff, you know, I've got nothing against Jessie J, but it's not the Big Chill kind of thing.
Exactly.
So someone maybe was picking the wrong bands. I'm going off the subject here. Right?
No, carry on. You're an interviewer's dream.
So you don't have to ask any questions.
I know.
So that was definitely, if someone said what's your biggest gig, I played at the Big Chill. That was great.
Cool.
It wasn't necessarily the most enjoyable because I was really nervous about it.
Well, it's bound to be on that.
But another one that was really good was I supported Martin Turner's Wishbone Ash at Hampton Hall.
Oh wow!
And that was great because that was like, it was full, and although it's not a massive audience, I just my music, when I play that chilled out stuff, it's suited to people sat down listening quiet, and to make a living I have to play a lot of pubs, which is fine, but I sometimes have to steer clear of doing stuff like that because it doesn't cut through the noise and stuff like that.
No.
So
does it annoy you when you go to pubs? I saw Matt Woozy before Christmas at Cheltenham, and he was playing some really good stuff, and people were just ignoring it because they were out for a night out, just chatting over him.
Well, if you've played a lot of gigs like Matt has, he's played loads, absolutely loads, probably about 3 times as many as me.
Yeah.
I think once you get to that stage where you're playing all the time, it is a bit annoying, but it's something that you just expect sometimes. And
it's
you
exactly
can't
what he said.
get arsy about it. If you start saying, "Well, can you shut up and listen?" It will actually make it worse.
Yeah.
And they'll just won't listen even more then.
Yeah.
It's just something that happens. Like sometimes there's the right audience there, and you get the right atmosphere, and it's those times that you really remember.
Yeah.
Whereas another time, if that happens and no one's listening, you just have to either try and play something that you think they're going to like, or just carry on. I mean, I know that I rang a place the other day and I said, "Oh, I saw that Matt Woozy played here, and I was wondering if I could come and play a gig." And they said, "Well, actually, Matt didn't like it here. He walked out after the gig." So I was like, "Okay." Well, I said, "Why did you do that?" And they said, "Well, because for that reason, because it was just a young teenage crowd, and they weren't. They just went into what he was doing." And
wasn't Cheltenham, was it?
I don't think it was.
I think he stayed to the end.
It can be a little bit demoralising, but you just have to do it. It's like you'll get good ones and bad ones. If you give up just because that happens one time, then you're not going to get anywhere. So.
What's the strangest gig you've done then?
I've played a wake before.
Really? Yeah.
I played for quite a few weddings, but this one was a bit weird. Yeah. It was actually quite good in the end. Because I was a bit worried what songs I would play. Because even something like, say, Ain't No Sunshine, it's when you think of it just off the top of your head, you think that's quite a nice sounding, happy song, but the words are like, Ain't No Sunshine when she's gone, and it's like a woman that had died. So I said to the guy, "Look, I'm really worried about a lot of my songs, it might upset people," and he said, "Don't worry about it, because I've heard you play before, and I want you to just do what you think really good, because it won't matter. Everyone's not going to listen to the words and go, 'Oh my God, she's dead.' They're just going to listen to it and enjoy it." So it was actually a good gig in the end. But it's just weird playing away, because it doesn't seem as the kind of thing that you would do. Other than that, I'm sure I have played some weird ones. Well, I've never played in a hospital before.
Well, there you go. There's the first one. There we go. We've topped a wake, ladies and gentlemen. Time for another one then, I think.
Okay.
What's next? Is this off your album or?
No, I'm going to do just quickly down tune.
Okay.